These generations of computer system capable to execute only one problem at a time. During first generation, what kind of switching devices they use? That is nothing but the vacuum tubes. What is the execution speed? That is measured in terms of microsecond, and it is 333 microseconds. Hello to all, a warm welcome to my new session. I am Revati, Faculty, Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram, Pre-University College, Mysuru. We are on the third session of first chapter, and the chapter name here is Overview of a Computer. In my today's session, I am going to deal with generation of computers. Before that, let me to recall the things what I had discussed in my previous session. In my previous session, I started with evolution of computers. In the evolution of computers, we had discussion regarding abacus and what is the use of abacus. Along with that, we had discussion regarding sliding rule. Along with that, we had discussion regarding analytical engine. Along with that, we had discussion regarding first programmer. So these are the some of the very important concepts of evolution of computers. Then we had discussion regarding classification of computers. In computers, we have two types of classification, that is based on the configuration and the operation. That means the computers are classified based on the two characteristics, that is based on the characteristics as well as based on the operation. So here the computers are classified based on the operation in three different types, that is nothing but the analog computer, then hybrid computer, then digital computer. So here the computers are classified into three different types based on the operations of computer, that is analog computer, then digital computer and hybrid computer. Now tell me, what is analog computer? So here the name itself indicates that it's going to operate based on the continuous value. So it is mainly based on the principles of measurement. So here we are going to consider speed, voltage, measurement, etc. So these are the some of the measurement we are going to use in the analog computer. Along with that, we are going to have digital computer. Now tell me, what is digital computer? So here the name itself indicates that it's going to work based on the discrete value. So when I say it is discrete value, that is nothing but it is based on the zeros and ones. So here zeros and ones is nothing but the binary values. It's nothing but the binary values. Then we are going to have hybrid computers. So here the name itself indicates that this is the combination of analog computer as well as digital computer. So it is a mixture of both the computers, that is nothing but analog as well as digital computer. Then we had discussion regarding classification of computers based on the configuration. So based on the configuration, we are going to have four types, that is microcomputer, then mini computer, then we are going to have microcomputer, then we are going to have mainframe computer, then at the end we are going to have supercomputer. And these are the four different types of computers based on the configuration of computers. So dear student, from the examination point of view, these are the very important topic. Here you can expect 1 mark question, 2 mark question, 3 mark question, as well as 5 marks question. Moving further, we are going to have the generation of computer. So in generation of computers are classified into 5 different types. That is, first generation, we are going to have second generation, and we are going to have third generation, then we are going to have fourth generation, and we are going to have fifth generation. So the generation of computers are varies according to their switching device, according to their storage devices, according to their speed, then the different kinds of operating system used and the languages used. So at the beginning, we are going to have first generation computer system. So here the first generation time period was from 1940 to 1956, and at that time they are going to use vacuum tubes. So here the switching device they are going to use here is vacuum tubes. That means all the first generation computers are made up of by using vacuum tubes, and along with that, they are going to use magnetic drums. That means whatever the storage they are going to use to store the data is nothing but the magnetic drums. And the execution speed of the computers are measured in terms of microseconds. So here it is 333 microseconds. Then at the time they are going to use batch operating system. So what is batch operating system? So here batch operating system is nothing but the operating system. So at this generation computers, the operating system which is present in the computer system does not directly interact with the computer system. I repeat, here the operating system does not directly interact with the computer system. So what they did in order to perform all the execution, what they did, they have divided all the jobs into smaller jobs, and in order to increase the execution speed, what they did, they used to combine similar jobs together. So that is nothing but the batch operating system. So now consider the example here. There are two users, user 1 and user 2. And he is going to write the program to add two numbers. At the same time, this person is also going to write the program to add two numbers. So in the batch operating system, the operating system does not interact with the computer system, and all the jobs are divided into smaller jobs. And in order to increase the execution speed of the computer, what they used to do, they used to club the similar jobs. That means they are going to combine the similar jobs and they are going to execute. So here user 1 is going to write add program. At the same time, user 2 is also going to write add program. So what they will do, they are going to combine these two programs and they are going to execute the program in order to increase the execution speed. And at that time, they had machine level programming language. So what is machine level programming language? That is nothing but the zeros as well as ones. Dear student, now tell me what kind of programming language they were using during first generation of computer system. That is nothing but machine level programming language. So when I say machine level programming language, that is nothing but the zeros and ones. So dear student, here during first generation, what kind of switching devices they use? That is nothing but the vacuum tubes. And at the same time, what kind of storage device? That is nothing but the magnetic drum. Along with that, what is the execution speed? That is measured in terms of microsecond, and it is 333 microseconds. And here which kind of operating system used? That is nothing but batch operating system. And the programming language used during this generation is nothing but the machine level programming language. And this generations of computer system capable to execute only one problem at a time. I repeat, during this generation of computer system that is capable to execute only one problem at a time. And these are the some of the example for first generation computer system. In that first one, we are going to have electrical numerical integrated automatic computer. This is the first computer system. That means this is the first generation computer system, and it includes 2000 vacuum tubes. That means it is made up of by using 2000 vacuum tubes. Along with that, the cable supported by during this season is 1800 kilometer. Then we are going to have EDVAC, that is electronic discrete variable automatic computer. And this is the improvement on the first computer. Then it uses binary numbers rather than decimal digit. Along with that, we are going to have UNIVAC, that is Universal Automatic Computer. And this is the first commercial computer produced during this generation. So, some of the examples for first generation computer system is nothing but electrical numerical integrated automatic computer, then electronic discrete variable automatic computer, then universal automatic computer. These are the three examples for first generation computer system. So dear student, while writing for exam, please make sure that the first generation computer, which technology used here is, that is nothing but vacuum tubes. And what is the period? That is nothing but the 1940 to 1956. Along with that, you want to write the switching device. That means what kind of technology they were used. That is nothing but the vacuum tubes, and what kind of storage they supported. That is nothing but the magnetic drum. Along with that, what's the speed? Here the speeds are measured in terms of microseconds. And what kind of batch operating system they were used? That is nothing but the batch operating system. Along with that, what kind of programming language supported by the first generation computer system? That is nothing but the machine level programming language. Then what are the advantages of first generation computer? That means the speed of the execution of the program is high. And now tell me, what are the advantages of first generation computer? So here the execution speed of first generation computer is high, and it supported punch cards for input as well as output. Then what are the disadvantages of first generation computer? So here the first generation computer is not portable. So why it is not portable? Because the size of the computer systems are very large, and you cannot able to carry from one place to another. And the input and output operation is very slow, and it produces excess heat. These are the some of the disadvantages of first generation computer system. In order to overcome these disadvantages, we are going to have second generation computer system. So in the second generation computer system, we are going to have transistor, and the period of second generation computer system starts from 1956 to 1963, and at that time they were using transistor. So what kind of technology they were using? Here it is nothing but transistor, and here the transistors are made by using semiconductor. So what kind of technology they were used during second generation? That is nothing but the transistor, and here the transistors are made by using semiconductor. Then now tell me what kind of memory devices they are going to use. That is nothing but magnetic core technology. That means during second generation, the storage device used here is magnetic core technology, and the speed of the computers are measured in terms of microseconds. That is nothing but 10 microseconds. Along with that, they use time sharing and multitasking operating system. So what is time sharing and what is multitasking operating system? So the name itself indicates that these generation computer systems are capable to perform more than one task at a time. That is nothing but multitasking. Then what about time sharing? So here the time sharing operating system is mainly based on the CPU scheduling, and it allows the user to share their computer resource. So these are the two different types of operating system which is used during second generation of computer system. Then now tell me, dear student, which programming language they were using. So here they were using two types of programming language, that is nothing but assembly level programming language as well as high level programming language. Now tell me, what is assembly level programming language? So during this generation, they were using some special symbols in order to provide the instruction to the computer system. At that time, they required translator in order to convert assembly level language into machine understandable form. Then what is high level programming language? Here high level programming language is nothing like English programming language, and once again here they require translator. So here translator is nothing but the compiler in order to convert high level programming language into machine understandable form, that is nothing but the object code. And some of the examples for assembly level language as well as high level programming languages are nothing but COBOL and Fortran. These are the some of the example for second generation programming language. So dear student, while writing answer for this, you want to remember that what switching device here used. Switching device is nothing but the technology. So what technology they are used here is nothing but the transistor. So here the transistors are made by using semiconductor. And what type of memory devices they were using? That is nothing but the magnetic core technology. And the speed of the computers are measured in terms of microsecond, and they were using time sharing operating system as well as multitasking operating system. Then they were using assembly level programming language as well as high level programming language. And some of the examples for assembly level or high level programming language is nothing but the COBOL and Fortran. These are the example for second generation programming language. Now tell me, what are the advantages of second generation computer? Let us start with the advantages and disadvantages of second generation computer system. Now tell me, what is the first advantages of second generation computer system? That is, the execution speed of the computer is high compared to first generation computer system. Along with that, we are going to have operating system. That means during second generation, they were started using operating system. Then they had two different kinds of programming language, that is assembly level programming language as well as high level programming language. Now tell me, what are the disadvantages of second generation computer system? So the disadvantages of second generation computer system is nothing but the size of the computer systems are very large. That means it is not portable. That means you cannot able to carry your computer system from one place to another place, and it produces excess heat. So these are the two disadvantages of second generation computer system. To overcome this disadvantage, we are going to have third generation computer system. So during third generation computer system, they had integrated circuit, and the time period starts from 1964 to 1971. During those days, they started using switching devices like IC. So here IC is nothing but integrated circuit, and here the integrated circuits are made by using silicon. And during those days, they started using magnetic core as primary storage device, and the execution speed of these machines are nanoseconds. That means the execution speed of these computer systems are measured in terms of nanosecond, and the execution speed here is 100 nanoseconds. Then at that time, they were using real-time operating system, and the language used during these generation is nothing but the high-level programming language. So here during third generation, they started using COBOL as well as Fortran. So these are the two examples for high-level programming language. And at the same time, they were introduced database management system in order to manage the data. During that time, they started using database management system. So dear student, from the examination point of view, this is very important question and it carries 5 marks. So at the beginning, what kind of technology they were using, that is nothing but the integrated circuit. So here the integrated circuits are made by using silicon. At the same time, they were using magnetic core as their primary storage device, and the speed of the computers are measured in terms of nanoseconds, and it supports only high-level programming language. Now tell me, what are the advantages and disadvantages of third generation computer system? So here the execution speed of the computer is high comparatively second generation computer system, and here they were using database management system concept. Along with that, they were using operating system. Then now tell me, what is the disadvantages of third generation computer system? Once again, these generation computer systems were producers excess heat, so these kind of systems requires air condition. Along with that, to design integrated circuit, we required sophisticated technology. These are the some of the disadvantages of third generation computer system. Moving further, we are going to have fourth generation computer system. During those days, they were using microprocessor. So here microprocessor is nothing but the technology. That means what kind of technology they were using? That is nothing but the microprocessor. And the time period starts from 1971 to present. And what kind of technology they were using? That is nothing but the large scale integrated circuit, or it is very large integrated circuit. That means during fourth generation, they were using switching devices like VLC or LIC. So here LIC is nothing but large scale integrated circuit, where very large scale integrated circuit. That means they were using two different types of technology, that is large scale integrated circuit as well as very large scale integrated circuit. And at that time they were using semiconductor memory. That means the storage supported by that time is semiconductor memory. Then what is the execution speed? So here the execution speed is measured in terms of nanosecond once again. That means these kinds of machines are capable to execute 300 nanoseconds. Then they were using real-time operating system and GUI. So what is GUI? Here GUI is nothing but the graphical user interface. So here graphical user interface provides a very attractive, a very beautiful working environment to the user. That means user can have icons, menus, etc. So during that time they were using real-time operating system as well as graphical user interface. And at that time they were using once again high-level programming language. That is nothing but the COBOL, Fortran and Pascal. So these are the some of the technologies used during the fourth generation computer. So dear student, I repeat that during fourth generation they were using large scale integrated circuit or very large scale integrated circuit. So here the technology used here is, that is microprocessor. And what kind of memory they were using? That is semiconductor memory. And what's the execution speed? That is measured in terms of nanosecond. And what kind of operating system they were using? That is nothing but the real-time operating system as well as graphical user interface, and they were using high-level programming language. Then now tell me, what are the advantages and disadvantages of fourth generation computer? Dear student, now tell me the advantages and disadvantages of fourth generation computer system. The advantages of fourth generation computer system is it is reliable and portable. That means the size of the computer systems are small comparing to third generation computer system, and you can able to carry from one place to another. And it is cost effective and the speed of the execution is very high. Then now tell me, what are the disadvantages of fourth generation computer? So the disadvantages of fourth generation computer is, to manufacture microprocessor we require new technology and sophisticated technology. So this is the one of the main disadvantages of fourth generation computer system. Moving further, we are going to have fifth generation computer system. During fifth generation, we are using robotics. That means during fifth generation, everything is considered as robots or robotics, and it is mainly based on the artificial intelligence, and the switching devices are used in this time is super large scale integrated circuit. I repeat, the switching devices are used during this time is nothing but the super large scale integrated circuit, and the storage devices are supported by these kind of computers are optical disk, and the execution speed of the computers are measured in terms of billions instruction per second. That is nothing but 1.5 billion instruction, and the operating system used during this time is knowledge information processing system. I repeat, the operating system used during this time is nothing but the knowledge information processing system. So it is mainly based on the artificial intelligence, and the programming language supported by the fourth generation computers are nothing but the high level programming language. And some of the examples for high level programming language here is C#, Java and Python. These are the some of the example for high level programming language. So dear student, in the fourth generation we are going to have super large scale integrated circuit. This is the technology used by the fourth generation computer system. Along with that, we are going to use optical disk for the storage purpose. That is nothing but the storage device. Along with that, the execution speed of the computers are very high, and that is measured in terms of billions instruction per second. Then what kind of operating system we were using here? That is nothing but the knowledge information processing system, and it is mainly based on the artificial intelligence, and the programming languages supported by these generation computers are C#, Java and Python. Now tell me the advantages and disadvantages of fifth generation computer system. So first I'm going to discuss the advantages of fifth generation computer system. So it is mainly based on the artificial intelligence, and the execution speed of the computers is very high, and the storage capacity of these computers are very high. Then what is the disadvantage of fifth generation computer? That is nothing but the unemployment, because here we are mainly going to focus on the development or design of robotics. Now everywhere we are going to use the robotics. So the robots are capable to work like human beings. Because of these reasons, we are going to face the problem like unemployment, and at the same time it is very expensive to design and develop robotics. These are the two disadvantages of fifth generation computer system. So dear student, in my today's class we have discussed regarding the generation of computer system. So here the generations of computers are classified into 5 different categories, that is first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation and fifth generation. And all the generations of computer systems are going to vary according to their switching device, storage technology, speed, operating system used and the programming language supported by that generation of computers. And the languages are supported by that generation of computers, and the programming languages are varies from one generation to another generation. So dear student, just remember that first generation we had vacuum tubes, and in the second generation we had transistor, and in third generation we had IC, that is nothing but integrated circuit, and In the fourth generation, we had microprocessor, and in the fifth generation, we are going to have robotics, that is mainly based on the artificial intelligence. Dear students, let's meet in my tomorrow's session with some more information about fundamentals of computer system. Until then, take care. Thank you.